Hi, thank you so much for tuning in, and this is the KBJ Business Journal. My name is Akote Amwakwata. You're welcome to a coverage on the African Cup of Nations 2023, officially dubbed AFCON, on the KBJ Business Journal. Without wasting much time, I want us to go direct into our review of match day 1 as it has been happening at the tournament, which is being hosted in the Republic of La Côte d'Ivoire. So before the games began, we were welcomed with an absolutely magnificent opening ceremony that was also graced by the top musicians Magic System and Yemi Alade as they performed the official theme song for the AFCON 2023. I must admit that is actually one of my favorite theme songs of any football competitions in a long time. I absolutely love the tune. Immediately after that, we saw that the host nation, Côte d'Ivoire, took on Guinea-Bissau in the opening game of the African Cup of Nations. And what an electrifying atmosphere in the Stade Alassane Ouattara in Abimpe, Abidjan. So we saw Côte d'Ivoire winning that game by 2-0. First goal of the tournament was scored by Seko Fofana in the first half of the competition, and in the second half we saw that brilliant display by Jean-Philippe Grasso where he put in the second goal for the host nation, giving them a 2-goal win at the end of the evening. The next day, on match day, actually still match day 1, but on day 2 we saw Nigeria take on Equatorial Guinea. That game ended in a 1-1 draw. Both goals coming in the first half, with Iban Salvador opening the scoring for Equatorial Guinea and Victor Osimhen immediately giving him a reply before the half-time. In the second half, they came back and battled it up, but it looked as if the 1-1 was all we were going to get in that game. Then moving on to Group B, Egypt, the 7 times champions of the African Cup of Nations, came on and took Mozambique in an electrifying game. Actually, this has been the most entertaining game of the first round of games. Absolutely magnificent goal-scoring prowess that has been shown by these two teams. So Mustafa Mohamed opened the scoring in the 4th minute for the Egyptians, but we saw Witi Kwembo coming to cancel that goal with his brilliant equalizer, and Cleso Bokeh also adding a second for the Mozambicans. It looked as if we were going to have a huge upset quite early on match day 1, but in the final minutes of the game, in the dying embers, Egypt had a penalty, and guess who? Mohamed Salah stood up and put it in the net for his team, giving them a 2-2 draw against Mozambique, earning each team 1 point in their opening game. In the second game in Group B, we saw Ghana, the Black Stars, taking on Cape Verde, the Tuboros Azuis of the Cape Verde Islands. I love their nickname. It's absolutely beautiful. It definitely gives you some chills when you hear that. And they did not disappoint. The Blue Sharks of Cape Verde were able to overcome the Black Stars by winning them 2-1. The goals coming in from Jamiro Montero and Gary Rodriguez for the Cape Verdeans, but Alexander Jiku also put in a brilliant headed goal from a corner to pull one back for the Black Stars. Actually, the Black Stars had a goal disallowed by VAR. That goal was from Majid Ashimeru and would have been one of the goals of this first round if it had stood. In Group C, the defending champions Senegal opened their account against their neighbors, the Gambia. It was a huge statement by Senegal, telling all the other teams that, look, we did not come here to play. We won this for a reason, and we are back to defend our title. It was an emphatic 3-0 win over the Gambia, with goals coming in from Papagaye and the only brace of the first round from Lassane Camara, who scored twice. He's just 20 years old. It looks as if the youngsters are owning this AFCON 2023. We see so many young players stepping up to the plate and scoring and making a name for themselves. We're going to see how Senegal is going to, dictate the pace as this tournament progresses. The second game in Group C, saw Cameroon take on Guinea, and Guinea opened the scoring from Mohamed Bayo in the 10th minute, and in the second half Cameroon came back through Frank Magri in the 51st minute to pull one back. It ended in a 1-all draw. Guinea were under siege for most of the second half, but they managed to hold their ground to end that important 1 point in such a tight group with Senegal and the Gambia. So we're going to see how Group C turns out after match day 2. The final game on the third day, we saw Algeria take on Angola in the opening game of Group D, and Algeria opened the scoring through Baghdad Bounidja in the 18th minute of the first half. It was a brilliant goal called by, of course, the outside man Baghdad Bounidja, and in the second half Angola got a penalty and the goal was scored by Mabulu in the 68th minute to pull them draw with the 2019 AFCON champions. It proved very important, and that game ended in a 1-all draw. Another surprising result coming in the opening round of games. One would have expected Algeria to absolutely eliminate Angola, but that was not to be said on this day. Both teams are currently on 1 point. In the second game of Group D, it was an absolute battle between the Stallions of Burkina Faso and the Lions of Chinguetti, Mauritania. It looked as if that was going to be the first goalless draw of the round 1, but that was not to happen. In the very last minute of this game, Burkina Faso were awarded a penalty, and veteran Traoré stood up and put that goal in the net for the Stallions, giving them a 1-0 victory over Mauritania. It was so undeserving for Mauritania to lose that game because they played their hearts out, and one would have expected that at least they could have gone home with a point after such a brilliant display from the Lions of Chinguetti. But that was not to happen. Burkina Faso took all 3 points and sit on top of Group D as it stands. In Group E, we saw Tunisia take on Minos Namibia, and Tunisia, who are the third best ranked team in Africa, taking on Namibia, ranked below 100 on the FIFA World Rankings. You would not expect this result, but Namibia were able to overcome Tunisia with a very surprising result as Dion Hoto scored in the 88th minute unexpectedly to overcome the Carthage Eagles of Tunisia. One must admit, Namibia actually played quite good in this game, and the win was well deserved. I think Tunisia have a lot of work to do if they are to progress from this group, because the other teams, Mali and South Africa, also tough nuts to crack. In the second game of Group E, we saw Mali take on South Africa, and this was one of the games where we saw the tactical brilliance of the coaches come to display. It was 0-0 in the first half, despite South Africa having a penalty and their captain Percy Tau skying that ball over the bar. He was not able to convert the ball to give South Africa the lead in the first half. So it ended 0-0 in the first half. But in the second half, the coach of Mali showed his tactical brilliance when he took off Yves Bissouma and introduced Lassana Sanayoko. And absolute torment was what was unleashed on the defense of South Africa. 2 quick goals came from Hamari Traoré in the 60th minute and Lassana Sanayoko in the 66th minute to give Mali a 2-goal win in this particular game. South Africa have a lot of questions to answer. The coach has already started answering some of these questions. We see how far they're going to go as the tournament progresses. In the final group, that is Group F of the tournament, we saw Morocco take on Tanzania, and it was an absolute David and Goliath clash. But this time around, David did not triumph. Goliath, logically stood his ground and won this game. Morocco emphatically won the game by 3-0 against Tanzania. And we saw the goals coming in from captain Roman Saiz, Azedine Unai, and Yusuf En-Nesyri, who absolutely dominated the game from start to finish. It was a brilliant game to watch. Maybe one-sided in a way, but absolutely brilliant to see what the Moroccans have under their belts, definitely stating their intent that this time, after almost 50 years of not getting their hands on the AFCON trophy, this could be their year, and they are here to win it. The second game in this final group was between Democratic Republic of Congo and Zambia. The goals came in from Yuan Wissa and King Kangwa in the first half. It ended 1-1 between these two teams. I must say it was quite undeserving for the Democratic Republic of Congo because they absolutely dominated the game from start to finish. But it ended in a 1-1 draw because a goal from nowhere came in from Zambia. Kings Kangwe scored that opening goal in about the 20th minute with a quick response coming in from Yuan Wissa to level the playing field. But that game ended in a 1-1 draw. So these are the results for the first round of the African Cup of Nations, which has been hosted in La Côte d'Ivoire. Match day 2, this is where the calculations are going to begin. If you know your country is, owing in terms of points, definitely get yourself that Casio calculator and start praying as well. So some of the statistics that we have, seen so far in this match day 1 is there are 6 teams that are yet to score a goal. This has actually been one of the most entertaining first rounds of the African Cup of Nations in recent years. We have seen 27 goals being recorded on match day 1, and we have only 6 teams failing to score. These teams are Guinea-Bissau, the Gambia, Mauritania, South Africa, Tanzania, and Tunisia. They are the teams that are yet to get a goal in the tournament. The Sani Kamara also has a brace, and he's currently the leading goal scorer after match day 1. 6 teams also recorded clean sheets, and those are the host Republic of La Côte d'Ivoire, Senegal, Burkina Faso, Namibia, Mali, and Morocco. So we need to keep our eyes on these teams with a clean sheet because it looks as if they have a proper defense and a solid team to be able to go forward. In tournaments like this, defending properly, strongly, and gallantly is very, very important, just as scoring as well. So this has been our review for the match day 1 of the African Cup of Nations 2023. And as you always know, I am going to be coming back after every match day to bring you the review, analysis, statistics, and all the information that you need on this African Cup of Nations. So please do stick and stay with the KBJ Business Journal. This is here we draw the curtains down on today's episode on AFCON on KBJ. My name is Akote Amwakwata. Thank you so much for sticking with me to the end of this video. Please do subscribe if you haven't yet, and do not forget to leave a comment in the comment section. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye. Thank you very much for watching this video. Please do not forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel KBJ Business Journal TV and press the notification bell to stay updated always.